Several years ago, I received a vision which has felt like an invitation to a life calling. It seemed to be a new kind of education for our near future. At the time, there was much about it that I didn't understand. In fact, there's still much about it that I don't understand. However, in the intervening years, I've done much inner and outer research to gain clarity about it and to attempt to reverse engineer how an education system like this might actually work. My inner guidance has told me that it's now time to start sharing it with you. I will start by reading aloud to you the original vision. This is what I wrote those years ago when I did my best to capture what I was seeing in writing. The building. The big magic school is made of stone. It looks like a cross between a castle and a cathedral. It sits on and partially in the north side of a steep hill in the arms of a forest. The path to it up the green is accompanied by well-spaced cherry trees. In spring, in the apricot light of the sunset, it is a sight to behold. There are wide stone steps up to the big oak double doors of the main entrance. But also off to the right, there is a small tunnel with an open portcullis built into the facade of the school, easy to miss because of its demure stature compared with the grandeur of the rest of the building, that opens out into a quiet inner courtyard garden. Through the main entrance, there is a high-ceilinged foyer embraced by two grand staircases. A chandelier hangs between them. Under the chandelier, a red carpeted hallway stretches back into the building. On the left wall of the hallway are doors to cozy and well-appointed staff quarters. The right wall is almost entirely made of tall stained glass panels looking out onto the garden. The hall ends at another pair of grand doors that open into the ballroom/cafeteria, currently populated by round tables, many chairs, and a lunch buffet. The floor is an enormous and stunning pietra dura of a white dragon and a black dragon, joined by a lightning-shaped black gash in the center. To the right of the entrance are more stained glass windows overlooking the garden, as well as a wooden door to make it accessible for a lunchtime stroll. The landing at the top of the foyer's grand staircases continues with another more moderately sized staircase, accompanied by more tall stained glass windows that leads up to the second floor. The second floor landing is multifunctional, holding a heavy oak table and a few chairs, and some narrow glass-faced bookcases, as well as opening onto the main second floor hall and thoroughfare. The ceiling is high, and there is a large stained glass window that lights the landing, the top of the staircase, and the hall. Across the hall from the landing is a door to the library, which has a wall of tall windows and a door by the front checkout desk leading onto a wide stone balcony that looks out into the dense forest. To the left from the landing, down the main hall past the library, is a T-intersection to a perpendicular hallway that holds the lower level student dorms and the healer's wing. Windows of those rooms look out the front of the building over the green and the cherry trees, and there's a small balcony from this hallway that juts out over the inner garden. To the right from the landing down the main hall is another perpendicular hall that leads to the lower level classrooms, which also have a shared balcony over the garden. Both of these east-west halls also access the big balcony that runs the length of the library. From the class hallway, there's a staircase up to the third floor and the upper level classrooms, which have a garden overlooking balcony directly over the one below. Above the library is a large, high-ceilinged study hall with lots of light coming in through giant stained glass windows, some of which arc up the sloped ceiling overhead and almost become skylights. The study hall is filled with reading nooks, large tables, and plush lounge chairs, and there's a staircase at the back down at the library. The upper-level student dorms are directly above the second floor dorms. In the third floor class hallway is an unassuming door, looking more like a janitor's closet than anything else. It is the door to the quote-unquote wizard's tower, which houses a spiral staircase where the class teaching faculty have their offices/quarters. And of course, because it's a magic school, there are plenty of secret passages and nooks and hidden rooms. Most not really so secret, because no one gossips more than students with privileged knowledge. The most popular one is a staircase hidden inside the library wall that leads from the upper level student dorms down to the lower level student dorms. But one that most don't know about is an extension of the wizard's tower. There's a secret door inside the tower to a further spiral staircase downward that has two other doors. One is concealed in the back of the ballroom, and the other opens into the temple below the school. Almost every student has heard of the temple, but many don't believe it actually exists. They assume it's a prank that upper-level students tell the incoming students, like the swimming pool on the fourth floor. But it's real. It's not nearly as ostentatious as the rest of the school. It's a working space for the magic circle. It's mostly just a big empty undercroft with pillars. The most impressive thing about it is a much toned down but just as large duplicate of the dragon floor mural in the ballroom directly above. The classes. Classes happen where they need to. Many of them happen in classrooms, but some of them happen in less conventional places, like in the hallway or the forest. The size, time, and length of each class is also up to the teacher's discretion, as well as how students are notified of its existence. There is a class schedule, but not every class is on it. The teachers don't teach for the school, they teach for the students. They arrange their classes and their teaching style in the way that works best for the subject being learned and the most effective way for that teacher to help their students learn it. Some teachers even require being sought out and asked to teach. Many classes don't really look like classes, but more like fervent group research and discussion, or a game in the forest, or some sort of mad science experiment. And you can't always tell who the teacher is. Much of this is covered during Student Orientation Week. The faculty. The faculty are incredibly diverse. They are all magical adepts, which means a certain degree of magical facility and wisdom. But some of them are very versatile in their magical skills, and some of them are very focused indeed. Each one has their own story for how they ended up at the school, and each one loves their job. The students. The students are similarly diverse. They come from all over the world, all walks of life, all social classes, cultures, religions, and worldviews. Most of them are college-aged or young adult, and there aren't any young kids at this school. There is a smaller school at a nearby village for young magical kids. It operates year-round for the kids from the villages, and its whole village expands into a sort of magical summer camp that outsiders flock to every summer. This school is the Big Magic School, and it is a destination for many high school graduates who make the decision to train as magical practitioners. We also end up with quite a few college dropouts, and a few who didn't complete high school, as well as college graduates who treat this as their graduate school. And of course, we have a few students who answered their magical calling later in life. Our students' interests are as wide-ranging as their backgrounds and cultures. Some of them don't know what they want to study. They just know that they want to learn magic. Some of them want to become priests and priestesses of their religions, and are wanting a more solid magical background than their culture's conventional paths provide. And some of them want to hone specific magical skills, perhaps that they've already had a taste of in their own experience. We take and train all kinds. Our application process can't be failed. We trust that the people who are meant to be here will be here, and when they're no longer meant to be here, they will filter themselves out. We also don't chase down students. There's no such thing as a particularly promising student, at least not that we would be able to tell. Every student is equally promising and equally valuable, and every student is equally trusted to be on the path that they need to be on, which is at our school for as long as they need to be here. But that doesn't mean that we don't miss them when they leave. The curriculum. The full curriculum is 6 years for the students who choose to do the entire education. It can be likened to the equivalent of an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree in magic. The graduates of the full education are magical adepts with a clear understanding of what their options are and the tools and wisdom necessary to make good choices for themselves. The first 2 years are very uniform and regimented, introducing all students to a wide range of applications and providing them with a thorough, adaptable foundation to magic that will serve them well for any specialization. In years 3 and 4, as students progress and gain experience, they can select a specialization that affords them the opportunity for deeper expertise. The final 2 years are apprentice/practicum work, a natural progression from the prior 4 years of education and preparation for becoming a working magical adept. It's like grad school work, the kind where there is a significant practical aspect to it. Every student who makes it this far is required to do in-depth outer court magical service in some manner. That can be as a TA at the school. TAs are basically teacher apprentices and are mentored as such and held accountable for the magical health and progress of their students. As an apprentice healer in the healer's wing. As an apprentice to one of the school's staff members, who are also magical practitioners and masters of their crafts. Or in magical service in one of the nearby eco-villages, in the surrounding forest, or out in the world. Magical practitioners from anywhere can request apprentices from the school, and if there are any initiates who are undecided about their specialties, the faculty will assign them to any as yet unfulfilled apprenticeships. The purpose of the outer court work is grounding, spiritual health, and gaining maturity through being accountable for the well-being of other people, animals, plants/trees, or the land. Some students also choose in their final 2 years to become initiates of the Magic Circle. The Magic Circle is the working magical group associated with the school. It consists of a diverse collection of adepts and initiates, all of whom participate, although not necessarily all at once, in practical magical work. Many, if not all, of the adepts of the Magic Circle are faculty at the school, and many, if not all, of the initiates are students. But membership in the Magic Circle is not a requirement to be faculty, and interest in the Magic Circle, or even belief in its existence, is not required to be a student. The Magic School is a feeder school for the Magic Circle, but that's not its primary purpose. The school's primary purpose is to guide students in becoming strong, healthy, magical practitioners who are capable of choosing their own magical path. For some, that path includes becoming an initiate of the Magic Circle. Every initiate gets mentored by the Magic Circle adepts, but the Magic Circle work is often deep inner court work, so it doesn't replace the required outer court work of the final 2 years. The Magic Circle has its own magical line started from polarized, balanced divinity. Its work is profound, but not glamorous. It is directed by inner call, not by any of our ideas. Often, when doing a job, we don't know what exactly it is that we are doing, or what the effect will be. We often don't know what the effect was even after we've completed the job. Even if we could know the effect, it might not be something recognizably good from our limited human perspective. Our work isn't something we can really explain or brag about. It will not be for everybody, but it is necessary, and for those who are called to it, it will be the only thing that satisfies them.